So, welcome to my memoir. When I was young, I was the mischief maker of my family. So, my parents have a lot of stories of the follies that I got up to. There were times where, you see my older brother, he's about a year and a half older than me. He was very much into building things and like puzzles and things like that. You can tell why he's an engineer now. But he used to love playing with these puzzles, these like Lego Connects pieces, and I was that guy who'd go and mess it up, take a piece and hide it so he couldn't find it. That was me growing up. And my parents used to say, like, what is this guy gonna do when he gets older? Like, and I was about 2.5 years old when I first engaged, or at least my parents saw me first engage, with some sort of artistic medium. You see, there's this movie that we watched, there's an old Tamil movie actually, and there's this one song that really got stuck in my head. And it goes something like this. Apple panneni yaro, ice cream sileni yaro, kangal thoongum malaye kaanum neero. So you see, as I was like 2.5 years old, and it had the words apples and ice cream in it, you can see why I like the song. But my parents saw in that some sort of talent or skill or something. And they were like, let's send this kid to classes, whip him into shape, make him train in something. And that became the beginning of my creative career. Over my life to date, 20 extremely long and short years, I've found my way doing things of many different media. I've written, published poetry. I've acted in 1 million different productions that you might have seen if you, for example, went to the Health Sciences musical. I've sung. I've done a whole bunch of other things, and yet here I am in the Bachelor of Health Sciences program, going into a STEM field. And I'm not a unique situation. There are, and if you look at the healthcare field or the medical field, and you talk to people, there are a lot of professionals who've engaged with art or creation in some form. It's not the creative field you might expect, but somehow there's this group of people who are doing really cool, creative, artistic things that then decide to go into care. And why is that? No one really knows. But for a long time, the way we explore those fields and the way we teach those fields and the way we learn those fields has not been reflective of that art. And so when I was applying to universities in grade 12, I wondered. I was applying for direct entry medical programs abroad. I was applying for a bunch of other science programs abroad. And I applied to Health Sci. I remember having a conversation with my parents. And now, mind you, at this point, I was like, oh, like health is cool. Like, maybe I want to be a doctor, maybe not, but like, probably. And my dad was like, he told me this. And this will come into play a couple months later when I did actually receive an acceptance into a direct entry medical program, which I then declined. He told me, if you believe in yourself that you can make it to where you want to be, it doesn't matter where you go. And that was kind of a game changer for me. Like I said, I chose Health Sci over a direct entry medical program for multiple reasons. And I found myself here in this program being like, what do I do with my time outside of Chari Cell Bio and Chem 1A? And those words came back to me. If you're confident in where you want to go and the things you want to accomplish, anything you do is a good start. And that's how I got involved in a bunch of things. I got involved in, obviously the musical, and I found myself continuing a lot of the passions that I had developed throughout my high school and childhood. It was music, theater, writing, art. And sometimes I wondered to myself, I was like, I'm like not really a science kid, but I'm an arts kid. And yet, I want to do something that's so scientific that it blows my mind and gets my gears going. And I don't mean my scientific gears, I mean my artistic gears. And it's something that's brought me to here, to me applying to med school again, to me starting my music or career as an independent R&B musician, to working in the health innovation field, to all sorts of things. And so, tie that all together, I want to ask you all a question. And that question is, how often do you create? Answers, please, shout them out. How often do you create?
Every day.
Every day? Are there any other answers?
Not very often.
Not very often. Let me tell you this. And so, last November, I went to a conference in New York City, and I had the wonderful opportunity to speak with Ms. Mala Sharma. You may not know her, you may know her. She is one of the most inspirational women I've had the chance to meet. She is currently a vice president at Adobe and the general manager of the Adobe Creative Cloud. And she talked about her experiences going to her communities. She's from India, and so she had some experiences going to India and engaging with creative spirits, with children from specifically the slums in Mumbai. And one thing she said that really resonated with me is that given the opportunity to engage in something creative, some of the most magical things came out of these children. Some of them were 4 years old, some of them were 16, you know? And despite that, like just having something to present gave them so many opportunities to bring whatever they had in their head out. And these aren't people that are trained in art. These are people who went to school and it's like you need to find, a lot of them have pressures to try and find a good paying job so that they can support the rest of their family, and that often doesn't mean going into a creative field. And I had to think about it, I had to reflect on it a little when I came back, and something I've realized is this: every waking moment of your life, you are creating. Doesn't matter whether you're an artist, doesn't matter whether you're a doctor, doesn't matter whether you're a student, whether you're a child. Every single moment, you are contributing in the creation of your reality. You are creating the world you see, and you are contributing to that collective consciousness of the world in your interactions with every single person around you. And creation is not you. It can sometimes be a reflection of you. It is sometimes an extension of you, but it is independent of you. But you create. And you don't stop creating. Some people take that and go into traditionally creative pursuits. Some people go into medicine and create relationships every single day with the patients they interact with. Some people go into science and create opportunities for them to discover and seek out new knowledge. And so, what I want to leave you with is this idea that every waking moment is an opportunity for you to create. Sometimes that's going to go well, sometimes it's going to go not so well. But try reframing your mindset around this idea of creating. And the way you see the world and the things around you may change drastically. And you may find yourself feeling liberated and free to be a creator in a land where creations are valued and the creator is invisible. Thank you.